Well, look at this. It's snowing. Good morning and welcome to the next episode of my photography vlog, and this morning you join me right at dawn, and I've travelled to the Copper Coast in Waterford, and I'm going to take some shots here today at sunrise. There does seem to be some nice light that's appearing now. The sun is just about popping up over the horizon. So what I'm going to aim for today is to show some motion in the waves. I'm not going to go close up like I would have done before, but it's more along the lines of the power, the water flowing out, trying to capture those shots, and I'll take you through a couple of shots as I get ready to take them. So just going to get set up here. The light is just starting to come through, so I'll check back in again in a moment, and we can continue from there. Right here next to the water line. As you can see behind me, there's some nice colours coming through, and there's some nice flow of the water as well coming in around me. And to the distance, the beach that I'm on is in Kilfarassy. I was here a couple of months back in another video. I'll link to it here or here, one of the two. And on that morning, it was just clear skies. There was no drama whatsoever. It was pure orange light, and I actually called the episode Oompa Loompa Sunrise because I was completely basked in a orange glow. Now this morning the light is a lot more favourable. The conditions as well are really nice. So there's the stacks that are in the distance over here, and what I'm doing is framing my shot, and I'm waiting for a wave to come through. And I'm going to catch the wave just as it's coming through, so it creates a flow through the shot right up to where I want the eye to finish up, which is on these stacks that are just on the horizon now, and there's a nice bit of colour as well coming in behind them. The sun is rising just to the left of these stacks as well, so there is a bank of cloud there at the moment. It's not getting any direct light, but once it just breaks above that, and then I'll move across, get closer to those stacks, and what we'll end up potentially seeing there is some nice side light as well on the stacks themselves. Now, this morning actually I'm going to do something different, and it's something like a challenge from I'm being interrupted now by somebody actually just recording me. So I'm here this morning with Rodney O'Callaghan. You may remember Rodney from one of the earlier episodes I did on my photographer profiles in the landscape series. If you haven't seen that, again, I'll link to that here. But Rodney is an excellent photographer, and he's just back actually from a trip to the UK, to Northumberland, where he was running a very, very successful workshop. And Rodney now as well is, I suppose, branching out in regards to his workshops, and not just in Ireland, they're in the UK. He's going to Iceland as well. I think it is next week. Is it next week you're going to Iceland, Rodney? Next week in Iceland for 2 weeks. So I'm sure that's going to be a phenomenal trip for the attendees that are there. So anyhow, back to what I was saying here a moment ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my shot, I'm going to catch the water coming through, and at the moment I'm at half a second, and the idea here behind that is I'll get a flow of the water coming back out. I'll also try one coming back in. I'll show you those images as well here in a moment, and then from there we'll move on and we'll go to the next location. Right, so I've moved along down here and the sunlight has broken the clouds, but it is extremely harsh. You can probably tell even by looking at me here with the light that's on my face. It is quite direct, and what I'm doing at the moment here is I've changed lenses, so I've got the long lens on, and there's a single, not even a stack, it's kind of a stack, but it's not exactly a stack that goes up high, and I'm taking, with the long lens, I'm just trying to get into that itself. The sun is just right behind it as well, slightly to the left, so it's proving quite difficult for me to take the exposure, but what I'm trying to do is isolate that out and ultimately just get an individual shot of one of those stacks themselves with the light coming up behind it. And I have my Lee big stopper on at the moment to enable me to be able to have a long enough exposure, because as I said the light is so harsh, and I'm at 25 seconds and f18 and my ISO is at 50, and even at that with the 0.9 medium grad as well, it's telling me that it's very difficult for the sensor to be able to expose the shot. So I'm going to take a couple of shots anyway here, and I'll show you a shot as well after this, and it just gives you an example from when you come to a beach location. So where we are, as I said earlier on, is on the Copper Coast in Waterford, and the location Kilfarassy is actually best suited to high tide, but the tide is almost fully out right now. It's about to turn to come back in, but obviously I'm here for a rise. I'm going to spend the day along the Copper Coast, and what I'm hoping to try and do there is get a couple of episodes knocked out today. And as you may have seen earlier on, I'm with Rodney O'Callaghan, and I'm also with Emer Collins, and I hope to record in the afternoon one of my episodes on photographer profiles, in the landscape photographer profiles. So I'll have a quick look at the shot here. So yeah, it's quite difficult. It's been blown from where the sun is actually there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the filter to get the darkest part of the filter directly where the light is coming from. So the light will be coming from the left hand side, the top left of the frame, and that will help me to be able to control that light and hopefully still be able to get the shot that I want to take. Within the environment here as well, there's a lot of these stacks. You may have seen them in the previous episode. So when the water is coming in, it actually does really give you a plethora of things to shoot. But right now, I'm going to make the best of what I have. There is one other stack that's over here as well, and I'd like to try, if I could try and get that shot also. There's a very interesting group actually I came across on Facebook. It's called Landscape Photographers on Facebook, and there's two types. Landscape Photographers on Facebook is the new group, and then there's an original group which is called Landscape Photographers on Facebook UK, and it's created by a guy called John Haswell, and some very interesting other landscape photographers who, like myself, will vlog, and it's given me a good opportunity to be able to interact with people that are along the same lines and mindset of myself. And what they've done this month is they've given a challenge, and the challenge is to go for side light. So I'm going to see if I can get that. There is one other stack that I'm looking at that has some nice light on it at the moment. So I'm going to see how that will work out. But just have a look now. This shot has just taken. Yeah, that could work. Once I get it back, I may be able to utilize it. We'll see. Well, look at this, it's snowing. So I'm here trying to take a last shot there of this stack in the distance, and I noticed a big dark cloud coming, thinking that it was rain, but it is snowing. So yeah, quite good. The shot I'm taking here is trying to take that stack that you see out here in the distance, and I'm doing a 30-second exposure to try and isolate that stack out. So it's lit by the sun that's behind me here, and it's giving a nice bit of light onto the left-hand side of the subject. So hopefully I'll get that shot, and I'll move on then, and we'll see where we go from there. thanks very much for tuning in. This has been a very quick episode of my photography vlog. Hope you do enjoy the content. As always, please do like, share on social media and so forth like that. And if you haven't already, if it's your first time on my channel, I would really appreciate that you hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you can get notified when I do upload another episode. So from the Copper Coast on a cold February morning, thanks very much for tuning in, and slán go fóill.